Heyo, folks, welcome to the channel, and today we'll be looking at a really awesome and surprising set. Lego Fortnite set number 77073, the Battle Bus. That's right, surprising, isn't it? This set released in 2024 with 954 pieces, 9 minifigures, all for the price of $100. Wowza. It's crazy to believe that we actually got Lego Fortnite. Can you believe it? How about this? Rather than staying in complete disbelief that this is a thing, why don't we actually take a look at the set itself? Shall we? Here we finally have it. The Battle Bus. The Lego Battle Bus. It's crazy how it took so long for us to get Lego Fortnite sets. I think it's been like, 7 or 8 years since Fortnite started? It's crazy that we got some actual Lego Fortnite sets. And I'm not talking about those super cheap, ugly, god-awful knockoffs. An actual Fortnite set. Which, looking at the bus itself, like, ignoring the fact it's meant to be like a battle bus, modified bus, it's like, it serves as a really cool-looking bus build. I mean, it's pretty small in comparison to what it should be. Like, I believe, if I recall correctly, in Lego Fortnite, or now Lego Odyssey, or Lego Fortnite Odyssey, whatever you want to call it. I'm just going to call it Lego Fortnite the game. It's a lot bigger in the game. But still, this is a really nice bus build. It's very rare for us to get Lego school bus builds. The only few times I could think of it is like the hidden side bus, as well as that really awful tiny bus from that one Lego City set that had a Billy Madison reference. But you could see on the exterior, let me adjust the camera. We're going to adjust the camera so we can see the bus rather than the balloon. We'll get to that, don't worry. You can see all the arms and all that. I imagine there's an in-universe lore reason for all this technology and whatnot. I imagine it has to tie in with Save the World, even though I never really play Save the World. Which, these can go up and down, which is pretty cool, in case you don't want them on or in the way, which this bus does have at least 3 doors, which is pretty cool. You got one on the side, another on the side, and another on the back. As you can obviously, there are some stickers in the set, whether it be this little sign, which I imagine is like a storm sign to go along with Fortnite lore and all that, as well as stickers on the arms, as well as stickers on the side of the bus, which, again, this is a really nice bus build. I do imagine someone could just modify this to be a normal blue bus. As you can see, there's a little bit of the technology that carries the balloon itself with a V. I imagine that's meant for vendor tech, though I imagine some people could just use their imagination and just say that's a giant V-buck. Looking at the back, you can see it has the emergency exit look, well, emergency door, as well as battle bus, as well as some lights. The door can open up, you can see the seats, which we'll get to the interior real soon, which, aside from that, there's not a whole lot to look at on the back, but you can see the side, which there's the door, which is covered up by these arm things, and another sticker, which, again, you can just see how well done the bus is, though some parts like this are a bit odd. And I really do love the detailing on this. I mean, I imagine there could be much more if this was bigger. Hey, maybe in the future we could get a big D2C battle bus that's twice the size, obviously twice the price, but maybe even twice the minifigure count. Maybe this could actually be able to fit 100 minifigures if you take them apart, or whatever, but we'll get to that later when we look at the interior. You can see it does have the yellow wheels, which is pretty cool. Well, the hubcaps are yellow and the wheels themselves are black and rubber, which is nice. It does kind of make me think of like the old Batman sets, which that's nice. I do gotta see if I could find some retired Lego Batman sets, and maybe I could review those one day on the channel. And then we get to the front, where you could see that it does consist of 2 of those mirror type pieces. Car window, whatever. I do love all the stuff around here. You got the I'm sorry if I'm annoying any actual Fortnite fans, but I'm just gonna refer to this as technology stuff, which the technology stuff on the front looks cool. With the yellow tube is pretty cool. You can take this off if you want. It's actually pretty easy. You can see the front with the grills and all that. You can see there's another battle bus sticker, and you get another look at the storm little sign. I imagine these are meant to be mirrors, which these are also meant to be mirrors, of course, which can flap side to side. Kind of reminds me of the Lego Mater figure. Yeah, it's a really nice looking battle bus. This is just really nice. Like, I do wish we got more Lego school bus based builds. Like, this is a really nice Fortnite set, and I do hope we get more Fortnite sets. I mean, this is like the only set of this wave to have came with minifigures. The rest were just small builds. I mean, we do got the 2025 wave, which has 4 sets that all have minifigures, which are really nice. I do hope we get some more minifigures, which I'll talk more about the minifigures in the minifigures section as well as the end section. But now let's actually look at the balloon. Let's raise up like we're on a balloon. Ooh, there we go. Not too high. There we go. Let's back it up so that way you can get a better look. Which you can see they got these little like rubber ties on there to connect to the balloon, which is pretty clever. You got some more technology as well as the V sticker. It's a bit hard to see, but right here is another sticker, and if I recall correctly, there's another on the back. Let's turn around. Giant V-Buck, and yes, there is another one. I do like how for the flame element they use like the Monkey Kid fire piece. I mean, I do think this is like new, because if I recall correctly, the blue used in the Monkey Kid was a lot darker, which this piece also came in red, purple, green, and I think dark blue, which I do like these unique robotic arms to connect the antenna and this little balloon thing. Keep in mind, I'm sorry if I don't understand things. Again, and back at the balloon itself, which is really nicely built. I do love the colors as well as these big pieces. It's very rare to get, it's very rare to get hot air balloon based builds. Although if I recall correctly, we are likely getting a brick set designer program hot air balloon based set. And depending on how that looks, I might actually get my first brick set. But that'll be for another time, and that is if I'm lucky, which is nice, although the gap right here, as you can see, could be a bit of an eyesore. It's hard to see on camera, which let me raise it up to the level I'm seeing. You also do got these pieces that connect to the balloon piece itself. You can obviously see you've got parts where the studs would be, which are covered by these bricks, of course. It's nice to get more of these like little grapple hook type pieces. I'm not sure what they're exactly called, but you'd see a lot of these pieces in sets with lines that characters could zip line through, you know. But yeah, I think that should conclude the build itself for the exterior, which the exterior is just really amazing. Like I said, it's very rare that we get Lego bus sets, school bus sets. Travel bus sets is a different story because I think we get those often, but this is just really nice as a Fortnite build, as well as a Lego build, and as a bus build. Anyways, let's get to one of the main features of the set, the interior, where you can put all the players in the bus. So anyways, let's look at the inside right now. Here we have the interior, which is pretty basic. Then again, we never really see the interior of the battle bus often, though I will say, with the size of the bus, I feel like the interior is just too small. Like, there's not enough seating. Like, I feel like the set as a whole could have just been a little bit bigger. I mean, maybe in the future they'll do a D2C battle bus where there's more space, there's more room between seats, as well as the option to fit minifigures. Which I will say, there is at least enough seats to fit all the minifigures within the sets, whether they be in the seats or standing. Which the seats are actually pretty easy to remove, as you can see there. They're all on these two pieces, and they're all the same, built the same way. You would think that some of the seats would be built differently to accommodate one of 2 minifigures that would need to be accommodated, most likely. But no, they're all the same. I mean, technically is there a possibility you could just have someone laying down like that? Which, you definitely can see that there's a driver's seat. Let's get the camera to focus. Which, the driver's seat is pretty simple. You can see that there's a stickered piece which shows the battle bus. You also got a printed meter tile, which is nothing new. We've gotten that piece several before. I've just noticed that there's like 2, let me remove the seat so you can see it better. There's 2 black bars right there. I imagine those are meant to be like the brakes and gas. You also got a wheel, which is pretty basic. It's not like the normal car wheel, but that's all fair. I do find it odd how we got this piece right, these 2 shield pieces right there. On one hand, I feel like it's odd that they included it, but on the other hand, I feel like maybe it's just to keep help keep the bus in sport. But maybe there's a more logical reason behind it. I don't know. If you know, then tell me in the comments. You could see these two pieces, which are the support for the roof. These would connect to the roof and keep the roof connected to the bus. Yeah. You do got 9 seats, as you can see, which is pretty cool. Like I said, the space between the seats is pretty tight. Like, imagine trying to walk through here and you just literally have to go on your side. It's not very cozy. Like I said, maybe in the future we can get a D2C battle bus and maybe we'd have more seats, more space and all that, and be able to fit 100 minifigures, which I've seen videos of people trying to fit 100 minifigures in this battle bus, and even with taking them apart one by one, you couldn't fit 100. Maybe if you did illegal methods like breaking them physically beyond repair, then maybe you could fit them, but why would you do that? Why would you ruin your minifigures like that? It's one thing popping the arms off, but to saw them? Why would you do that? That's just insane. But yeah, you can't really fit 100 minifigures in here. Maybe you could at least fit 30. I don't remember the exact limit, but maybe you could fit 30, which definitely would fit in with Reload or Blitz or whatever. But anyways, before we move on to the minifigures, let's actually put these minifigures in to see how it looks with the minifigures inside. And here we have it. All 9 minifigures in the battle bus. As you can see, there's still a bit of room for some minifigures, like in the open spaces here and there, which is cool. It's nice that you could be able to fit more minifigures, though you can't, like I said, you can't fit 100 or minifigures or so. And I don't think you could fit 30 with them standing up in one piece, but I could be wrong. But still, it's really nice that we could fit some minifigures here. I will say some minifigures might be a bit of an odd case. At first I thought Peely couldn't entirely fit sitting still like that, but he could. It just looks a little weird since he's large, but he could fit fine. One thing that might be a little bit weird is Meowscles. His tail has to be up rather than down if he wants to sit like that. Otherwise, you'd have to have the seat in a certain way, but when he's done like that, he could fit perfectly fine. Anyways, let's show that we could fit the top of the bus on perfectly fine, even with all the figs, including Peely in. Look at that. It's now the bus is loaded and ready to fly out to the map for where all the players can drop and get that victory royale. Well, one of the players will get the victory royale. The rest is just... Although some people could just complete the quest like I do. Maybe sometimes get a victory royale every now and then, but I'm getting off track. Yeah, this is a really nice build. It's just really incredible that we finally get Lego Fortnite. The build is amazing, the minifigures are amazing, it's just overall amazing. And actually, why don't we take a look at those minifigures? I think the minifigures help make this set the amazing set it is. So, let's take a look at those. For the first of our minifigures, we have the Battalion Brawler, but for the sake of this video, we're going to refer to him as Jonesy, because that's basically what he is. He's the face of Fortnite, which, this is a pretty solid minifigure, though I imagine in hindsight it's not very special, considering that it's basically a default skin, which it's nice that we get one of these in this set, because basically, like I said, he's the face of Fortnite. You can see he's got some back printing, as well as he's got some arm printing, which that's really awesome, or his dual mode arms, I would suppose. But yeah, it's really nice that we got them. The arms are really nice. I do feel like maybe they could have used a little more printing. I mean, it's fine that they don't, but I feel like it would have been nice if we got a little more arm printing. Like there could have been like an armband, kind of like what he has, as well as some sort of device on his wrist. Which, that would have been a nice inclusion. I could definitely see the legs and the torso minus the arms being reused for other default skins, or at least other male default skins, since the female default skins are just slightly different. And the same could be said with Jonesy's head, because I can see him being reused for other Jonesy skins, like that one T-Rex version or that elf skin. If they do that, it would be nice to get more Fortnite sets, especially with Jonesy. Like, personally, I would prefer if they do another Jonesy figure, it wouldn't be like this, it would be Underground Jones. It would be nice to get an Underground Jones figure, since that's probably one of my original skins I stuck with. Anyways, if you take a look at his head, you can see he's got a smirk. But if you look on the back, he's just got a normal smile, which I imagine that's basically the default expression for Jonesy, so it's nice that we got that. And for his accessory, we got a generic pickaxe, which isn't special, but it's nice that we got him with a pickaxe, especially since it's a important part to Fortnite and all that. But it's really nice that we get this minifigure, and I think it's a really well and welcome addition to the set. But anyways, I think it's time we move on to the next figure, so let's do that right now. For the next of our minifigures, we have yet another iconic Fortnite character, that being the Bright Bomber, which I feel like this minifigure is both well done and both kind of cheap, and I'll tell you why. Which, as you can see, they've got printing on the front and of course printing on the back, which is nice. Let me move the hairpiece, which we'll get to the face later, but I just want to show the back printing, which she doesn't have arm or side leg printing, which that's one problem that she has, because I feel like maybe they could have given her some arm printing, because if you look at the official model, if we got arm printing and of course some side leg printing. I mean, it's one thing for side leg printing because that's a pretty big get, which I would understand, but a little bit of arm printing would have been nice for this figure, but that's not the big issue. The big issue is her headpiece. As you can see, it's just hair, which is nice that we get this hair piece in a hot pink color. So that's a really welcome addition. But it's the fact that it's just a standard piece. Like, if you look at the model again, you could obviously see that she's got the hair glasses combo. And I feel like, especially since there's probably a bunch of versions of this figure which have that, they should have just bit the bullet and gave us a new mold. I feel like it would have been welcome. However, I will say something that's interesting that Lego does in this set is, well, before we get to that, let's actually look at her face, which you can see she's got a confident smirk on one side. And if you look at the back, there are the glasses. She's got a more angry expression with the glasses on. I'll give Lego a point for this because if I recall correctly, Bright Bomber doesn't have an edit style where she's got her glasses on. They're just up in her hair in the game, but aside from my gripes, I think this is a pretty cool minifigure. It's nice that we get this. I do hope maybe they come with a more detailed version in the future, but that's just my hopes. And she, of course, has another pickaxe. That's another minifigure with a pickaxe. It's just a generic basic pickaxe, but hey, it's a welcome addition. This minifigure is a welcome addition to the set, which, like I said, I feel like she could have had a little more detail, but she's alright for what she is. Now let's move on. For the next minifigure of our bunch, we have Adventure Peely, one of the many variants of the Peely character of Fortnite, which I do think this is a really nice figure. It's not as basic as the original Peely, which we do get that in another set for this year, which I do like how he does have dual molded legs but no side leg printing, even though the in-game model has a little bit of side leg printing for the pockets. The model also has some arm printing too, although the arm printing is kind of meh of a job, but I think it's fine without the arm printing, and the side leg printing is not a big deal in my book for now, but I do really like the printing on the banana piece, the banana body and all that. You can see his belt's got the little nana on it, as well as the nana on the back. If you take off the banana body piece, he's got nothing on the torso, no back printing or anything. All the printing's on the banana basically. Got a little smile and his little goggles, and he's got the grappler gun, which is real nice. It's a brick built. I really like how they did the brick built technique. You can't really fire it or anything, but still, it's real nice. But yeah, this is a pretty cool figure. I do love the printing and detail and all that. This is just a really nice figure. I do think it's great that we got him in this set. I do feel like maybe they could have just put the original Peely in the set, but at the same time, I feel like the original Peely is just a bit basic, and I feel like it's nice that they got a more detailed variant of Peely in this set, so that's really good. Anyways, let's take a look at our next figure, who's another iconic Fortnite character, and probably one of my favorites of the set. And for our fourth minifigure of the set, we have the Swole Cat himself, Meowscles, which is probably one of my favorite figures of the set. Well, there's a few figures that I would say are my favorite, and we'll get to another one real soon, which I do really love the printing and the such on the figure. I do love the little headpiece, even though I do feel it's a bit small, but maybe that's just me. You can see he's got the different fur colors, since I'm pretty sure he's meant to be a calico cat, which, if you look close enough, you can see there's a little piercing in this ear right here. You can see a little silver piercing. He does have some leg printing, but not on the side, but he also does have some back printing. Let me move the tail. I have the tail up because it'll help him sit better in the battle bus. But you can see he's got some back printing for his pants, and he's also got arm printing. However, this does kind of infuriate me a little bit, and I'll tell you why. Which I do like that they gave this arm some printing for the Lynx tattoo and all that, which that's greatly appreciated. However, I don't like how they gave this arm printing and not this arm printing, because if I recall correctly, this arm would have printing for his brownish patches. And I just feel like that's just really cheap. It's just, you should have just went all out. I mean, I'm not asking for overly detailed. I'm not asking for side legging printing. I've just asked for one arm to be printed. Please and thank you. That's all I wanted. It makes the figure feel a little bit more complete. But anyways, the figure is pretty good. As you can see, he's got some slap juice right here. Real cool. But yeah, aside from the arm printing, I do think this is a really nice figure and really well done. I do hope we get more Meowscles variants, whether it be the other Meow Cat characters like Meowskulls or Kate Meowdy or Kit or even Meowdus. Heck, I would really like a Meowdus minifigure. It would be amazing. Or even a Meowtooth. Then again, I don't know if they would do it since it's technically Marvel. I don't know if they would do a Marvel Fortnite set. It would be cool if they did that, because I would really love I would really love to get minifigures of Doom and Emma Frost from last Marvel season. It would be really awesome. And another thing is, I do feel like it's great that they made a minifigure of this, because there are people like me who missed out on the original Battle Pass, and now we can't really get the OG Meowscles anymore. So it's great that this is the closest we can get to getting Meowscles. Unless they do a OG pass and give us a variant of Meowscles, which that would be pretty cool. But then again, that would also be locked behind a battle pass, but oh well. Anyways, it's nice that we get a Meowscles minifigure. I do hope we get more cat-based figures, anyways, let's just move on to the next figure, shall we? Next up, we have the Cube Assassin, which is a bit of a obscure character. I mean, not as iconic as some of the other figures in the set, but it's nice that we got this figure. And much like Meowscles, it's nice that we get this figure, seeing as if they're a crew skin, so you can't get it from the shop. So it's nice that we get this in minifigure form, which I do think the printing on the front and the back is real nice. And much like most of these other figures, I do wish there was a little bit of arm printing, maybe side leg printing, but maybe the side leg printing is asking for a bit too much. But a little bit of arm printing would have been nice here. Here they are without the hood piece. You could see all the crystal looking face. I do love the trans pink color. It's real nice. As you can see, they've also got some slurp juice, which is a real cool addition. Nice to get some more. It's nice to get more of these accessories that are Fortnite based, aside from weapons and all that. Oh, I do hope we maybe get a little more accessories in the future, like maybe a chug jug or one of those 6-packs of slurp juice. That would be really cool, but I'm getting off track. This is a pretty cool minifigure. It's nice that we get them. Like I said, I do wish there was a little more printing, but it's nice that we get them. It's nice that we get some figures that were based off characters that were in crew or battle pass things where you can't really get them from the shop. So I guess this is the closest you can get to getting those skins. But yeah, this is a really nice figure. I think it's time we move on to the next figure, shall we? Up next, we have yet another unique and kind of obscure sort of figure. Well, at least obscure in my book. Maybe if I stuck with Fortnite a little bit earlier, maybe they'd be more iconic to me. But we have the Trespasser Elite, which is a really cool figure. I do love the detailing on the torso to give them a more thinner look. They don't have arm printing, which I feel like they should have had it. I mean, at the very least, they should have had either arm printing or dual molding, just to have a little bit of black accents, since I feel like their arm is more black and silver than just silver. Yeah, they do got silver and gunmetal printing for their arms and torso. You can see they got some back printing, which I'll take a look at back at this once I get rid of this accessory, which you can see they've got the pickaxe, which is real cool. They got a cool helmet mold. It's not a brand new mold, but it's weird that they use it, but I think it kind of fits for the figure. But if you take the helmet off, they've got a cubed head, which is real nice. Again, they use the trans pink headpiece, which is real nice. Got all sorts of crystals and a cube surrounding them. They don't have any printing on the back of their head, which let's take that off and take this little neck attachment off, and you can see some more printing on the back. It's real nice stuff. It's nice that we get minifigures like this. I do hope we kind of get some more unique, especially robotic figures, like maybe even some of the Save the World minifigures like Robo-Ray. That would be pretty cool. But anyways, this is a cool figure and all that, and I think it's time we take a look at our next figure, so why don't we do that? And for our next figure, we have Drift, who, as you can see, has another grappler like Peely did, which this is a really nice figure. You can see he's got like a jacket, tracksuit sort of look, which he doesn't have any arm or leg printing, which is fine and all that, which you can see he's got like a molded headpiece meant to be a hood and mask at the same time, which is just really awesome. It just looks amazing. The printing, the molding, and all that is just really good. They went above and beyond with some of these figures. You can see some of the back printing and all that. So the grappler again, which what makes this figure even more special is you can have an edit style with them. You can actually have them with the hood and mask off. You can see there's a face underneath, which you also got a hairpiece to go with it, that being Storm's hairpiece, but in a tan sort of color, which just looks amazing. He doesn't come with any back head printing or alternative faces to say much better, but yeah, he does come with a face print, which it just really adds to the figure. It just makes it even better. I gotta say, this is just a really amazing figure, and one of my top favorites of this set. Anyways, let's hurry on and get to the last two figures of this set, shall we? For our penultimate minifigure, we have Cuddle Team Leader, who is another incredible figure with an incredible molded head. They've got some real nice printing on the front as well as on the back, as you can see here. I do kind of wish they came with arm and side leg printing in this case, but I guess it's alright, but still, I would have really liked it. Their accessory is another your Slurp Juice accessory, which is real cool to get more of those. It's nice to get one of those light trans blue head pieces, which, speaking of headpiece, much like Drift, they do come with a hair piece to go with their head. Whoops, I dropped that, but that's not the focus right now, because we're looking at the head, which comes with a hairpiece, as you can see, which is the same as Bright Bomber's, albeit in a black color, which is real nice. You can see, I imagine this is meant to be Ramirez's head, another Fortnite character, which is pretty cool. Hopefully we get the actual Ramirez at some point. On the front, they've got a more smiley expression, and on the back, they've got a more excited sort of grin, as you can see. Which, let me actually get that headpiece back up. Here we are. Take another look at the back. You can just see how well done this headpiece is done. You can see how well the headpiece is. You can see the fluffiness of the little helmet, or whatever you want to say, the head. I do kind of wish the buttons in the back here were printed, but I guess this is fine as is. I imagine if they do Firework Team Leader, this head be reused, which I do hope we get more Team Leader types figures, especially Raven Team Leader, seeing as if they're my favorite of the leaders, but anyways, it's nice that we get another iconic Fortnite character, especially this. I do feel like this is one of the figures that should have been made, especially seeing as if they're the face of Lego Fortnite, or at least they were on the original banner, or whatever it is for Lego Fortnite, but yeah. This is just a really amazing figure, and I gotta say, these are just some really amazing figures in this set, but we're not done. We got one more minifigure to review, and I think this is a really cool figure. So let's get to it right now. And lastly, but certainly not least for our minifigures, we have Raven, which I've got to say is another one of my top favorites. As you can obviously, he does have a molded hood piece, which is just incredible. We'll, of course, take a look at it. He does have 2 dots for his eyes for the face print, but nothing else on the back. And he doesn't have arm printing, but whilst he does lack arm printing, he does have dual molded side leg printing. Just look at that. Look at that. That is just, that's just a chef's kiss right there. It's just so good. Easily makes him one of the top minifigures along with the hood. You can see the back. He's got back printing. Let's take the hood off so that way you can see he's got no back head printing, but you could just see the detailing of his molded hood, which has the feathers and the hood and all that, as well as more of his dual molded legs with all the detail. You can see he also has a pickaxe like a few other figures. Let's take one more look with the hood off. You can see he's got like his straps and all that on him, which this is just really well detailed. I just really think Lego really cooked with this set. Minifigures and build. Even if some parts of the set or the minifigures were a little bit cold, Lego just overall cooked with this set. They just did this set very well, and the minifigures too. But I'll save those thoughts for the end of the video, which I think it's time we get to that. So why don't we get to that, shall we? For our first Lego Fortnite set with actual minifigures, I think this is just a phenomenal set, whether it be just as a Lego set in general or a Lego Fortnite set. The bus build is amazing, the minifigures are even amazing to go along with the set. It's just incredible. I do feel like there are some flaws or things that they could have done better, whether it be with the build of the bus, like I feel it could be a little bit bigger, maybe with a little more space inside and all that, or with the minifigures, I do feel like maybe they could have had a little more detail and such, but even with those flaws, I think this set is just incredible. from the details, from the molds to the prints and all that. It's just amazing. The figures are amazing. It's just incredible of a set. Anyways, for the main question, would I recommend the set? Absolutely, absolutely. However, if you are able to somehow find this set for a lot cheaper than $100, then I definitely would get this for cheap. I know I say if you find it for a decent price, go get it, but I really do mean it. I mean, why would you want to spend a ton of money when you could save a little more money? Because if you save a little more money, you could buy more Lego, or actually spend it on more important needs like foods and bills and all that. But this ain't that type of video. But anyways, I do hope we get more Lego Fortnite sets. I do hope maybe they give us some more detailed figs. And I feel like, and another thing is, I feel like with Lego Fortnite, I do feel like with certain things, like for example I do feel like with certain things, they are way too family friendly. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with that, but I do feel like with Lego Fortnite, the game, it's just way too much. Like, I'll give you a few examples of what I'm talking about, because, like, I remember one talking point was how there was a character in-game who had a hat that said Dead Game, which they eventually changed it for a Lego minifigure to Best Game. Which is minor, but here's where I feel like it gets a little stupid. There's another character called Splode who kind of has a bomb-looking head, which I feel like Lego normally will do that, but Lego Fortnite just changed it to an 8-ball, which honestly I feel is just really dumb. It just looks dumb and it just feels dumb. I feel like Lego would do that. Then again, there was that one time where they canceled a Lego set that had a giant TNT stick. There's other figures with similar sort of problems in Lego Fortnite, but aside from that, I really do hope we get more Lego Fortnite minifigures. Like, I would really love a Lego Sunspot or a Lego Raven Team Leader, or maybe some sets based off some of the recent seasons, like, especially Chapter 5, since that's where I started, and I really enjoyed Chapter 5 sets, even though I imagined this would be more based off Lego Fortnite. Which you can see they have pickaxes and accessories from Lego Fortnite rather than weapons and all that. Then again, there is the recent Lego Expeditions where they add more weapons and even blasters. So maybe we could see a little bit of something happening. I don't know. But yeah, amazing set, amazing figures, and the only other thing I could say is I want more Lego Fortnite minifigures. Anyways, I think that'll be all for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment all that because it helps, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a good one!